Welcome to Manifesting Success, a safe space where you can become, attract, and enjoy all of what God has for you. I'm TJ Carroll, the founder of Manifesting Success and a clarity coach, here to help you bring clarity in your life by putting some structure and order into how your life, the success you desire and deserve, is supposed to be manifested. A structure built on principle and not just practices, and a structure built being mindful of not just how fast you get to what you want or who you want to become, but how long you lasted, because it is not just about succeeding, it's about outlasting. It's about building an outlasting success. And today I want us to discuss about zooming out. So the topic of this video today is zoom out and be, because your being is enough. I know we live in a world today where we're always thinking of what should I do next, what is it, what should I focus on, which direction should I go. We're looking for things to do in order to get the things we want, or in order to have the better life we desire, in order to have the things we desire. But I've come to learn, as being human beings and not just human doings, there's a place to first of all be. And I've been on this journey learning how to be, to just be. And most of us, we think it's the doing part that is difficult, that is working hard, is doing this or doing that most difficult part. But I've come to learn that the most difficult part is being, because you being comes with the consciousness of what is really happening. You zooming out, like we talk of, you zoom in to see the details when maybe you're working on something on your computer, or a picture, or a design, or something, you're reading something and you cannot see. You zoom in to see what that thing, the details of what does it really look like when you come close to it. And that's how I think we have been living life, focusing about doing things. We focus, we stay too close to things we want to get out of, to things we want to move on, to how we want our life to develop, that we don't see the bigger picture. Was to zoom in, which is a good thing, because when your focus and your attention is solely on one thing, or is solely on the right direction in which you have to focus on, or you have to be on, that's great, because there's a place for focus, there's a place for giving yourself wholly into something. There's a place of paying attention and not being distracted by whatsoever is happening around you. But that only work if the attention and the focus you're giving to that thing is what you should give your focus to. Because if you are not giving your focus to your attention, and zooming in what will really get you out of that situation, or in what will really help you have what you truly desire and deserve, it will just be a waste of time, and you end up feeling tired, angry, frustrated, because you're working so hard but you're not seeing the result of the you're not seeing the result of your hard work in the way you want to, in the way you desire to, in the way you thought it would bring it. But zooming out is like you decrease the magnification of the image of what you're paying attention to, the document. Whether, like when you talk of zooming out, you decrease the magnification of an image, of document, or map, so you can see the larger area with less details. So when you zoom out, you're using maybe Google Map to go somewhere, and when you zoom in, you see exactly where you are. You can see where you are, where you're going to. But when you zoom out, you see maybe the whole country, the whole city, the whole area. You see a bigger picture, and it helps you have a bigger view of what exactly is around that place, whatsoever you're using the map for. But in a thinking perspective, when we talk of zooming out, is to take a broader view of a situation, a problem, or an idea. It means to step back and to see the bigger picture rather than focusing on the small details. So when you're stressed, you try to zoom out, not just to focus on what is stressing you and trying to to solve the problem or get yourself out of it, but you have to first of all zoom out and look at the situation from a long-term perspective, because when you're too zoom in for too long, you forget the long-term perspective. You forget that it's not just about getting out of this, making sure that as soon as I'm out, I will never get back into this place again, because you've thought of a solution that will take you on a long run and not just on a short term. Not on a short term. As somebody that studied medicine, I call it, when you zoom in and you're focused only on details, only on solving the things that will resolve the problem in the short term, I call it treating the symptoms and not zooming out to look at the cause of the disease, what is causing the manifestation of these symptoms inside that I'm having in different areas of my life. And that's what we do most of the time. We're too zoom in on the symptoms of what is happening. We're just trying to use painkillers to make sure the pain reduces or disappear, and not really asking ourselves, what is the cause of this pain that I'm feeling, and how can I uproot it right from the root of it. That's how life is supposed to be lived. That's how the success you desire and deserve is supposed to be manifested. If you are too zoomed in into things, into your life, into what is happening into you, without zooming out and seeing the global picture, so you can make decision based on long-term solution and not just short-term solution. So you can stop looking for painkillers just to reduce the pain or make the pain disappear, and look for what is the cause of the pain and try to uproot it right from the root, so that you will never have to experience that same thing again. Even if it has to come back, you will be more prepared than the previous time it came. So it's important we learn how to zoom out, and zooming out requires, it's not only about zooming out, looking at the whole thing and then coming back. You have to, when you zoom out, that's the place of being, zooming out and be, to look at the global, the bigger picture of your life. What is it I really desire? Do I just want a pair of shoes because I don't have shoes right now? Or do I want to be at a place where whenever I need a pair of shoes, I can afford it? Do I just want my children to go to school this year, or I want to be at a place where whenever I have to pay a tuition fee for myself or even my children, the money is available? So zooming out and being helps you see the bigger picture and then make decisions based on long-term solution and not just short-term solution. Just show that it's not every time that a problem arises that you start again, you're back again at that same point, looking for the solution, thinking of what to do. Should I do this? Should I do that? Or should I do that? No. Which is why manifesting success is mostly about being. Who are you being on a daily basis? Because if we don't learn how to be, we have, for centuries, we have been in doing things because of whatever reason, whether the struggle, the way you brought up, the kind of things that happen to you, but for you to find a solution that will help you on a long term, you have to pause, zoom out, and be. When you reflect, you really think of what is happening. You see the symptoms, but you try to look at the cause of it. What is causing this thing, and how can I uproot it, that it will never come back again? I will never have to find myself in this place again. The reason why zooming out is so important is that when we're too zoom into things, we like I said, you look at the short-term solution, we find it works for a certain time, and then we find ourselves again back at that same place when it's another challenge come, or even the same challenge come up, because whatever we did was just to help us come out of it, not stay out of it. Which is why I say manifesting success is helping you build a life on principles and not just practices, with the right structure and the right order, being mindful of not just how fast you get yourself out of certain things, but how long you stay out of them. So you know, if you are in a pit today and you're struggling to come out of it, whatever that pit means, whether it's a financial one, a health condition, a spiritual one, mental one, or even a relationship, and you learn and you're struggling on how to get out of it, you just focus on, I just want to get out, I just want to get out, I just want to get out. No, you zoom out, look at it. What first of all brought me into this place? How did I end up here? That's the importance of pausing and reflecting, to ask yourself, how did I first of all end out here, before I rush into looking for what, just to get out. So that, okay, I get out, and then maybe tomorrow what really brought you into the pit will come again, and you will be back again at that same place. Which I mean, you have this longitudinal way of living where you're just moving up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, and you think because there's movement you're progressing, but you can be moving and not progressing. There's a difference between movement and progression. You can be moving in circle, you're moving up and down, but there's no change, there's no transformation. And transformation is not just change like, okay, change has happened. There should be a change in your way of thinking, your way of being, your way of seeing, like your perspective will change. The definition of transformation I've seen so far is they change in form, like a caterpillar changing to a butterfly. When you look at the butterfly, you can even imagine that it was before that it was a caterpillar. So if you don't zoom out and learn how to be, and being is not passive. Being does not mean I just sit there and look at my life, and no, it requires thinking, it requires acknowledgement, it requires taking responsibility that no matter what happened, no matter who initiated it, I participated in it, whether I believed it, whether I carried my own legs and accepted whatsoever was said or didn't like. It requires taking responsibility. Which part did I play into getting myself into this play? Whoever I'm trying to blame or not blame, somehow I participated to get myself to this place. It requires you taking that responsibility, acknowledging that you too made certain mistakes and you need to correct them, acknowledging that there's something you don't know that you need to learn. So being is not passive. Being does not just mean sitting there and doing nothing. No, being means zooming out, looking at the whole picture of what is happening and thinking from a long-term perspective, looking for solutions that will not just help you get out of where you are sooner, but will also help you stay out of where you were forever. So zoom out. I understand that it's not easy to be having certain financial situation, pressure from this side, from that side, and wondering, like you just think I just have to make sure I stop this pressure that is pressing me so I can breathe more. But stopping it, like treating the symptoms without going to the root cause of what is causing it, is just buying time that you don't that you cannot redeem. Like it's not even buying time, it's wasting time, because you're wasting time treating symptoms, forgetting that the day you stop treating them, they will start back again. It's just like you're suppressing something, thinking that because you're suppressing it, the thing is disappearing. But it is not. Suppressing something doesn't make it disappear. It's facing it, acknowledging that it's really happening, acknowledging that yes, this thing and it's affecting me in this way, but I don't just want to get out of it sooner, faster, quicker. I want to stay out of it forever. So what long-term solution, what long-term decision, what long-term action do I need to take in order for me to not find myself here again 10 years later, 2 days later, 1 year. Like, what can I do to make sure this doesn't happen to me again? Because there's a solution. There's something you can do to avoid certain things from ever happening to you again. But for you to do that, you have to zoom out and be, because your being is enough. At the beginning of this year, especially in my relationships, when I started realizing that, oh, I've been doing this, I've been doing that, and I keep finding myself at the same place. It's like, no matter how hard I do something, or I try to do things differently, I still find myself at the same place, with the same complaint, with the same attitude. I'm like, there's something need to change, which is the same thing that happened to me end of 2019. After if it's even after just 2 years, because that was 2 years in Ukraine then. But as I was growing up, even back home in Cameroon, I always sold something during holidays to make some money. Like, I always sold something, whether walking around with things and selling them in order to make money, which is the same mindset. When I reached Ukraine, I was like, during holiday, I have to look for something to do, and I was going to the beach and braiding hair in the beach to make money. So after 2 years of doing that, which is something I've been doing for maybe, I don't know, since I was maybe 12 or 15, I can't really remember, I realized that I've been doing something again and again. No matter how hard I work, no matter how, like, next year I have to make more money, or when the next year come, I'm like, this year, yeah, I have to do things different. Maybe I should do something different. Maybe I should think of something different and do it differently, or do it more, or put more strength, more this and that. And I still find like, no matter how much I made, it was not still making it, or I could not still account for it for whatsoever reason. I had to zoom out and be, and pause and reflect. What is really the cause of this thing? Is it really that I'm not making enough? Is it like the beginning of this year was like, is it really that I'm not being the kind of friend or the kind of person I need to be in a relationship for certain things to keep repeating themselves again and again? And I wrote something on the 15th of February that I want to read to you, and I pray it's a blessing to you. What I wrote is, I have had to let some people go, because when something happens, you think maybe you have to let go, you have to, which is good, because letting go creates space for what you really desire and deserve. So what I wrote is, I have had to let some people go so I could focus on my purpose for years. But this time, that was February 15, 2025, this time I need to let myself be. I didn't want to let anybody, like, it's not like, no, I'm letting you go, I'm not, no. I want to let myself be to fulfill my purpose. I'm not letting anything go. I just want to be myself. I want to let myself be who I need to be. If being who I need to be today means sitting here and recording this video, then that's who I need to be. That's what I'm saying. Being is not passive. It's just saying things from zooming out to see things with the bigger picture of things, and making decisions with a long-term perspective and not just short-term perspective. So I said that this time I need to let myself be to fulfill my purpose. And I define what that means for me. This means putting myself in an environment I need, choosing me, loving me, accepting me, cheering me, encouraging me, taking care of me, exposing myself to things that brings me joy, peace, and fulfillment, things that draw the best out of me, remind me of who I am, where I am going, the path I'm on, the purpose, why I do the things I do, the things that speak life to me, so I expose myself to things that speak life to me, things that makes me dreams bigger and bigger every day. I want to have conversation about things that excites me, about how to change the world, about how to better the lives of billions of people, which is my dream, will have always been my passion since I was a child, to help families create better environment for their children, how to help people be all they were created to be, which is the mission of this platform. Manifesting Success is here to help you become all of who God created you to be. How to help people enjoy the abundant life they all desire and deserve. And I committed to take practical steps every day in that direction, in letting myself be. And I will tell you, it hasn't been easy, but it's surely possible. And I have been the most joyful, the most peaceful, the most stressless, no matter all the things around me that can be stressful, that can be discouraging, that can take all the peace, the joy out of me. But letting myself be made me just enjoy being me, enjoy whatsoever I'm doing at the moment, whatever is required in me during the day, whatever it is. And whether or not it is seen by people around me, it is acknowledged by them, it is recognized by them, that was not really the point, because it was about choosing me, loving me, accepting me, encouraging me, taking care of me, exposing myself to things that really bring more joy, that bring out the best in me, that make me think differently, see life from a different perspective. And I said, for the rest of my life, I choose to live only for the things that brings me joy, peace, and fulfillment. I let myself be. I'm not letting anybody go. If letting myself be will make people feel like I'm letting them down, then I am okay with it, because it's their right. It's their right. But I won't lose myself in trying to be whosoever people want me to be. That's the decision I made this year, that I want to let myself be, to really, which is a decision I made 5 years ago in September, end of 2019, really, when I went on this path of really being myself. But I really committed to that, to really to a different level, because in 2019, that was learning how to know myself, to love myself, and not just that, but to build myself inward. So in 2019, I said, I don't care about how I look externally, whether people think I'm a poor person, I'm struggling, I'm suffering, whatsoever. I don't care. I care about feeling my inner self. I care about caring about what inwardly. And I decided not to ignore the inner and build the inner man, like the Bible says. Focus on it, build myself mentally, build my mind, build my spirit, make sure I'm taking care of my health, and building myself like inwardly. And this year I just committed to be, because even though I was doing that, but I still thought, no, it's because of the number of books I'm reading, the videos I'm listening to, all of which I all agree, because all of that led me to this moment that I'm sitting here talking to you. But this year I just feel like it's not like I'm letting certain things go. I just want to be myself. So I just want to let myself be who I believe God created me to be. And it has been really life-changing to me. The kind of inner wisdom I've received, the insight, the perspective of seeing life has just been brighter. Just learning me, seeing how the value I carry, like, it has brought so much clarity to my life, to see life from a different perspective, to see life from a different space, and to not rush into just treating the symptoms of what is happening, but to look at the cause and how to uproot it, so I can make decisions with a long-term perspective in mind, and just not just short-term, not just trying to get out of things so I can, maybe I think by getting out I'll feel better, but staying there, zooming out, being it, looking at it as it is, acknowledging that it's happening, feeling the pain, but not rushing to suppress it, not rushing to take it out, not rushing to take myself out of it. Because that's why I say being is not passive, and it can be difficult. Not difficult like impossible, but painful, because you have to face whatsoever is happening to you. One of the things that makes us rush out of things, because we don't want to face what is happening. We don't want, it's so painful. It brings up some insecurities in you. I thought this, I thought that. That means you don't love me. That means I'm not this. That means I'm not that. That means, and you have to acknowledge that it's happening. You cannot rush your way out of it. You cannot suppress it to move out of it. You cannot avoid to think about it. You have to acknowledge that it's happening, what I call the power of confession, because acknowledging that I feel this way, I think of myself this way, I see myself this way, which is painful at times to acknowledge, to accept that, oh, I don't think I love myself. I don't think anybody can love me. I don't think anybody cares about me. I don't think people even see the value. Like things like that. Acknowledging that that's how you see yourself, because at times, whether or not it's even what people see is not the most important thing. It's what you believe. If you believe that you're not loved, no matter how people care about you, you will never see the love that's showing, because you already believed it within you that you are not loved. So it's sitting, at times it requires you sitting with those uncomfortable feelings, the uncomfortable thoughts about yourself that you don't want to think about. Sitting about the things, the actions you took that brought you into places you didn't want to go, like sitting with those mistakes and taking responsibility, responding to the ability within you to change them, because you can't change them. Most of the things that you are running away from by not letting yourself be is because that you don't want to acknowledge that you made a mistake. But they are your choices that led you there, and they are your choices that would let you out of it. But you have to first of all choose to be willing to face it, which is letting yourself be, zooming out of it, not focusing on the details, on the symptoms of it, but on the root cause of it, and seeing the whole bigger picture, and so you can make decision from with the long-term perspective in mind. So I'm calling you, and I pray that this message speaks something to you, to understand that it is not ignoring what is happening to you, but it's making sure you see it from the bigger picture of it, so you can make sure that you take decisions with a long-term perspective in mind, so you won't have to go back again to having the same cycles of the same things happening to you years over years. And just because there's movement with time, you think, oh, because there's movement with time, that means I'm progressing. No, it's okay that things are falling apart around you, especially when so many things are falling apart. Like I feel in my own life right now, it's okay if things are falling apart. It's not falling in preventing, it's not focusing, it is not by focusing in preventing them from falling that will help you not for them to fall. It's by seeing what is even the cause of them falling and focusing on, because if you can focus on the root cause, because after you've zoomed out to see the bigger picture and see really what needs your immediate attention, and where it's just like you have a pipe of water that is leaking from different places, and there's a way that you can just close it somewhere, and you will prevent the water from even passing through those leaking holes of the pipes. And all you're doing is trying to close every leaking place one after another. Like you're living your life, you have so many areas of your life that you have this area that is calling your attention. You need money for this thing, you need money for that, you need money for this, you need money, you need to pay attention to the relationships in your life, you need to pay attention to your mental health, you need to pay attention to your mind, you need to pay attention to your spiritual growth, you need to pay attention these different places. And there's one thing you can focus on, one place At times there's just one place, like I said, that leaking pipe that you could just close the tap and then that's it. But you're there trying to close one hole after another, one hole, and it's stressing you out because you have not zoomed you have not zoomed out, sorry, to see the global, the bigger picture of what is really happening. So you can simply close the tap and look at how maybe you can now fix the holes or change the pipe altogether, or different areas of your life that are calling your attention, that you need to focus on, and you're just there working from, like, trying to do all of the things all together instead of just zooming out. And zooming out and being made me realize that the things I'm stressing myself and trying to prevent to happen, or trying to solve them one after another, if I end up dying because I'm too stressed out, I would have not helped anyway. So it helped me realize that my health is important. If no matter how I desire to the dream, the life I want to live and desire to manifest it, I need to be alive for it to happen. So zooming out will make you realize that your life is not just about making money. If you're just focusing on making money without taking care of any of the other parts of your life, you're just moving in cycle, but you're not progressing. Because as soon as you stress yourself out to make money, you've been working your body too much without really resting enough. And rest is not about the number of hours you sleep. You can be sleeping 18 hours a day and you're not still resting. I've been there. So you will be in circle, because you finish, as soon as you finish making the money, you're in the hospital treating something, buying drugs for something or whatsoever. As soon as you finish making a thing, you neglected certain relationship that could really help you in ways that you didn't even imagine, but you thought your problem is just money. I just have to make the money. I just have to make the money, whatever. Let me just work myself. When I'll have the money, then I will take of it. By the time you're coming back, the thing have died. It's just like you have a plant. You need to be nurturing it, watering it, and everything. But you're like, no, I just have to focus on doing this, By the time when I will be done, I will water the plant. By the time you're coming, it's dead. That's how relationships are dying. That's how your health is. Your body is gradually decaying and dying while you're focused on making money. That's how your spiritual growth. You're not growing spiritual. You're not building the right spiritual capacity to be able to fight, because we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Being growing spiritually is more than just knowing, like, it's more than just saying that I believe in God, I know there's a God exists, I know I go to church, I read my Bible, I pray. It's deeper than that. If you realize that we are spiritual beings, there's nothing we do on this earth that doesn't start in the spiritual realm. Whether you are conscious of it or not, whether you are the one initiating the things or not, we are spiritual beings living on earth. That's it. We are not human beings trying to connect to spiritual. No, we are spiritual beings. That's our nature. That's who we are. Whether or not you acknowledge there's a God that exists, and your life is controlled by the spiritual realm, whether you understand what that means or not. So when I talk of the spiritual capacity, which is one of the rooms of success you need to field, and you're fielding for protection, is that you need spiritual capacity, because we wrestle not against flesh and blood. One of the You may be so focused on thinking that your problem is money, what is a spiritual thing, because you don't understand spirituality. You don't understand the importance of having a relationship with God, the importance of growing in Him, of knowing yourself in Him, of knowing, like, it's deeper than just going to church, reading your Bible, praying, or believing that there's a God somewhere, and it's deeper than that, which is why having a relationship with God and learning how to allow yourself to be led by the Holy Spirit is very, very important. So that's a conversation for another day. Or if you want to know more about or have a better understanding about that, then join me at the Manifesting Success Institute, and we'll go deeper into that with the training and the courses we have available there. But what I want you to get out of this is that zooming out is what you need. You need to zoom out and be, so you can see the bigger picture of what you're dealing with and make decisions based with a long-term perspective and not just short-term perspective. Because again, it is not just about getting out of the situation you're in faster, quicker, sooner. It is how long you stay out of it is more important than how fast you get out of it. How long you stay out of it is more important than how fast you get out of it. Because you're called to build an outlasting success. And until next time, I pray you become, attract, and enjoy all of what God has for you.